Hiya, it's Adi from Green Electrical Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how to convert a single socket into a double socket. A real quick and easy way of doing it. So let's show you what you're going to do and show you what you're going to need, and then we can crack on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to convert this old single socket into a double socket, and we're going to do that using a socket converter. So this is all the tools that you're going to need and all the items that you're going to need as well. So you can see at the top I've got my socket converter. Next to that I've got a socket tester. I've got a little bit of insulation tape, brown and blue, because I know it's pretty much going to be the old colour wiring and I just want to mark them up with the modern colours. A little bit of earth sheathing just in case I need that. A screwdriver and a pair of snips. And that's about it really. It's a doddle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check to make sure that the socket is dead, and the way we do that is with the socket tester. So I'm just going to put the socket tester into the socket, switch it on. We've got 3 green lights there, so that shows that the socket's live. So what I'm going to do now is go down to the consumer unit and switch off the relevant circuit breaker so that the circuit's dead whilst we're working on it. So here we are at the consumer unit now. I've just pulled the cover down and you can see that the relevant circuit breaker for the sockets is this one here. So I'm just going to flick that off now, and then we'll go back up and look, and that socket tester should show no lights whatsoever. So here we are, we're back at the socket tester now, and you can see there's no lights on it whatsoever. It's not making a noise at all. The socket is still switched on, so I'm pretty confident that's dead. So we can go ahead and undo those screws and take off the single socket. So all I'm going to do is just undo the screws. I've got a clue with the last time this socket was undone. Years and years ago, I should think. It would be the longest screw in the world. There we go. That's one done. And now the second one. Come on, screw. There we go. Now we've got the socket off, you can see inside, and there's 2 green wires, 2 black wires, 2 red wires. The green ones are earth wires, as they're commonly known, or circuit protective conductor, as we call them nowadays. And the red is what we used to call live, we now call that line, and then neutral as well. And the reason we don't call them live and neutral anymore is because both live and neutral are live conductors. So it's line and neutral. But what I'm going to do is just undo the screws. If we can have a look, undo the screws that are holding them in. So we're going to have to go from the bottom, oh no, from the top there. So we're going to undo those screws, get the red wires out, and undo the screw to get the green wires out, and then from the bottom undo the screws to get the black wires out. So simple as that, just undo. Taken the single socket off from the wall, so we've just got the bare wires protruding now. So all we need to do is just pop on the socket converter onto those wires. So the first thing you need to do is just pop off the little screw covers. Oops. So I'm just going to have to put the camera down while I do this. But you see, I'm just going to pop off, I'll just point to them there, you can pop off those screw covers so that you can get to the screw holes underneath. So there you can see I've popped off the 2 little cap covers, that allows me to get to the holes underneath. And you can, at this point, it's a good time to take off the little red label. If you do happen to lose a couple of these cap covers, there are a couple of spare ones on the back as well. So if you do need to take the socket off and put it back on again, for instance for decorating in the future, you can always just use the spare ones in the back. So that's a handy little thing. I've peeled off the red sticker from the front. Next thing I need to do is take out the screws, which are held at the back. So you can just pop out one of those as well. You can use those, use a screwdriver just to pop those out. Oops. It's hard to do everything one-handed and hold the phone. There we go. That's the second one out. Good. Okie doke. So now what we need to do is just make sure the wires are in good condition and there's nothing wrong with them that they might need any sort of work doing before we put them into the new socket. These are actually in pretty good nick really, considering how long they've been in there. So I'm just going to pop them straight in. But what I am going to do is just going to pop some brown tape and some blue tape around the relevant wires, just so they're marked up in the future as the proper conductor colours. So you can see I just popped a little bit of blue tape around the black neutrals and a little bit of brown tape around the red lives, so that they're marked up as the proper colours for nowadays. So now what I'm going to do is just fit the socket converter, and remember, blue now goes into the one marked N on the back of the socket converter, and red goes into, or red or brown goes into the L on the socket converter, and the other ones, the greens, go into the earth terminals. So a quick look at the back of the socket converter, and you can see it's marked up. I don't know if you can see that actually really very well. That's probably the best way of doing it. Yep, that's not too bad. So we've got an N on the bottom, a live at the top, and then the earth symbol in the middle. So we just need to loosen off those screws at the moment so we've got enough room to put the cables in, and then we can pop the cables in. So there you go, I've fastened those into the correct hole. Just have a quick check. Yeah, neutral at the bottom, earth's in the middle, and the lives at the top. Make sure they're nice and tight, give them a quick tug, make sure you can't pull them out. And also make sure there's not a lot of bare metal showing from the actual wire. Make sure it's mostly goes into the hole and gets connected to the actual screw that's holding it down, and that the screw isn't tightening up onto the actual insulation. It should be directly onto the conductor, the metal part of the wire. Okay, so now that's nice and tight, we just need to pop that back into the wires back into the back of the box, and then screw the box, or screw the socket converter back to the wall. Simple as that. So what I've done is I've just poked one screw into the hole. I'm just poking the second one in now. And the first one, what I did was I lined it up by looking from above. You can't see it on the camera, but I can actually just see where the screw lines up into the hole. So I screwed it in just a couple of turns just to get it going, and then what I can do is line up the second screw, get that into the actual hole, and then from there I can tighten them both up. So that's what I'm going to do now. So now I've got both screws located into the actual hole that they screw up into the metal box that's behind it. I can just continue to screw them both in, and just do a little bit at a time on each one, and then you're not putting too much stress on the box by trying to bend it too much. If you fasten one up all together and one's completely loose, it's sometimes not a good way to go. So just tighten up one up and then a little bit on the other one until it's completely flush against the wall. Got that flush to the wall, all we need to do is just pop the screw covers back in place. This can sometimes be quite fiddly. So I'll just give that a little bit of a push in a minute. And there's the next one. Told you it can be fiddly. Come on. There we go. And what I tend to do is just give them a little bit of a... just make sure they're nice and flush. And that's it, job done. So what we've got to do now is just obviously pop the socket tester back in. Obviously it's dead. Run down to the consumer unit, put the circuit breaker back up, and we should come back and see 3 green lights on the socket tester to let us know that it's all okay. Back down the consumer unit, circuit breaker back to the closed position or up, and then we can go back up and have a look and see if the socket tester is showing 3 green lights. Hopefully it is, and then our job's done. Socket tester's in, all we've got to do is push the switch, and yeah, we've got 3 green lights and a tone, so that means our socket's fine. So we could just, you can test the other one, you don't really need to, but we can pop it in. 3 green lights, great. So job done. So that's how you change a single socket to a double socket in just a matter of minutes with very, very little tools. Look forward to seeing you next time for the next thrilling instalment of Green Electrical Solutions. Cheers then, bye.